Okay, I apologize for this horrible audio, but I don't know. I'm always forgetting to turn on my microphone here, and I just got this new external microphone from my other camera, and I turned it on earlier, but it was too windy outside. Forgot to do it. What we have here is the Krylon UV Crystal Clear, or UV Resistant Clear, and I'm talking about the Blair Spray Fix here, which we can just kind of forget about because my spray nozzle on that one wasn't working, but I was going to use that for my matte cardstock pieces that I'm spraying in this video, but I end up not doing that, so it doesn't matter anyway. But anyways, let's take a look and see what this spray clear can do for these pieces. These two pieces are heavily inked. And you can see I'm just doing this on the left-hand side. And you can see vibrancy, saturation, and depth of color that comes about by spray sealing the pieces. It kind of returns it to the look of a freshly stamped card. There's a lot of glare on that, but I think you can see that intensity of the red. And I'll spray the rest of it here coming up. But I just wanted to show you kind of a little comparison contrast. You can see that kind of magenta tone right there is so much more distinct and saturated than the right-hand side. And in a minute here, I'll kind of spray the whole pieces here, the right-hand sides. And I'm spraying these about 8 to 12 inches away, standard spray paint kind of technique here. Kind of give it a few bursts, kind of start off your page and work on, but you can see the intensity of that red and magenta, especially on the left one. I got a little dripping there, which you really don't want there, but I tried to kind of get through these scenes as fast as possible because it was so breezy out, and I didn't want my pieces to be flopping around. Okay, now that one's going to be one that really benefits from spraying. They all do, but especially the ones that have a lot of layers of kind of different colors. The one on the left looks pretty good as is. I don't know, I might have used all Marvies on that one. I don't remember. But you can see, I'll go top to bottom on that one right there, but do you see that intensity and saturation and depth of color, on the top part? It's quite a world of difference. And then we'll just kind of do the rest of it. On the top one, all I'm doing is really, the spray sealant is serving to kind of protect it. It did bring out the colors a little bit, but not as much as that one on the right, which had dried to a very dull sheen. They don't really fade out because the colors are still there, but it does dry to a dull sheen. It's almost like it puts like a frosty coating on top. Now that one right there is very minimal in terms of my color application. It's more about the white than it is about the tones. So we'll see what we can, what benefit the spray can do for those. I think these both are on matte cardstock. Okay, they are. And I was going to attempt to spray it here with the Blair Spray Fix flat, but it doesn't work. Oh well. I haven't sprayed anything with that Blair Spray Fix probably in 15 years or something like that, and it's probably a 20-year-old can. It's practically full though, because I don't work with pastels and chalks and charcoal, things like that very often. So, all right, going back to the clear. The one thing good about the Blair Spray Fix is that it's a matte. I'm just saying I could probably take that off and switch it off to the other spray nozzle and it would probably work. But I don't take the time to do that. Okay, let's see if this will work right here. Yeah, now my hand was in the way. Sorry about that. I had to get real close because that breeze today. So, but that one right there, the intensity of the colors did come about quite a bit. There's just not a lot of saturation on the perimeter area. Okay, now this one is using the hybrid inks, and that did get a little deeper and more saturated in terms of the colors. So what we see is the color separation a lot better. Now on this one on the right, when I spray that, hopefully you'll see just how dark those trees really are. They look more like a, I don't know, maybe like a 92 to 5% gray right now, but when you spray them, they look a lot more true to the 100% black that they looked when they were freshly applied. And these two pieces here are on glossy cardstock using the hybrid inks. So you see that difference between that tree on the left and the one on the right. Now look at that. Just brings it back instantly. Now I didn't think that it affected the color too much because the colors look, they don't dry to a dull sheen like a lot of dye-based inks do. So I didn't feel that it really influenced that colored area very much. But let's take a look on this one right here, the lighthouse one. You see that little bit of a top to bottom. What it did was it kind of hid some of my pigment ink application, which I didn't necessarily want. I like that white pigment ink up there, but you know, just spraying it did bring out a little bit of a stronger saturation in colors. You can tell from the top to bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to go over it very lightly so I don't just kind of eradicate my white pigment ink kind of texturing in there. But even if it doesn't affect the colors too much, it still does seal the pieces fairly well, so that if you're going to display it or send it to someone, that spray sealing is good. Now on here I was saying that the hybrid ink quote stamps stamped over the top of all that white pigment ink did make them kind of run a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but that's something I didn't, you know, that only occurred to me right when I was spraying these pieces. So I need to be mindful of that and maybe dry the white pigment ink before stamping over it with the black hybrid ink. Or just I need to switch out to something like a Brilliance black or something like that, something that'll dry really fast. Okay, now these ones have a lot of color saturation. These ones really came about, you know, did get a lot more distinct in terms of that color layering on there. These ones, though, I would have liked to have sprayed in matte because these are on matte cardstock, and I didn't necessarily want to turn them glossy because I do like the matte cards, you know, the matte aesthetic for those, you know, for the pieces that are done on matte. Right now, that's a photo stamping, so I didn't know what that would do. Or how the inks would be affected on that one. Now that one right over there is very light, so the effects are kind of minimal, but like I said, it does serve to seal the pieces off. All right, now here, I felt that the colors became quite a bit more saturated, especially down in that green area, okay? And that's, again, that's on a photo stamping piece. If you haven't seen the photo stampings before, there's several videos of mine that are go into these ones, including the pieces that I'm spraying here. All right, I'm coming up on my audio, where I did switch on my microphone so I can get off this, you know, get out from the bottom of this barrel like it probably sounds like. Okay. I don't know if I got my audio going on here. I'll have to overdub it. I keep forgetting to turn on my microphones, but I just got this new external microphone on this camera. Alright, let's check out these ones right here. Okay, that's recording. Alright, these are matte right here. A couple of my favorite recent pieces. I always like pieces that I learn a lot during the process. Okay, that achieved a much deeper saturation. This one should benefit from it greatly. Here, let me go vertical right here. Okay, so quite a bit of a difference right there. Okay, moving on. Okay, these are some pieces that were sent to me, that private instruction type of thing, where I kind of worked on kind of a little bit of a refinement on the individual's cards, which is something that everyone is always welcome to do. You can send me your pieces if you're having if you kind of run into an area with them that you thought needed improvement, or if something was missing, you can send them in to me and I'll work on your lighting and things like that. This one needed a little bit of an extra kind of resolve in the sky, a little bit of refinement in the water and whatnot, but otherwise these pieces looked really good. But I told them that I would spray seal them and then send them back to them so you can see their kind of final piece as I would really finish my own pieces. So you can watch that video online as well. This one's on matte right here, and these two are on glossy. She has achieved a really good lighting scheme and looks pretty good. It was a little bit heavy in their black ink pad because their black ink pad was super saturated with ink, maybe a little over inked, and then it applied to the impressions, but it's all about concept. I want people to get the concept of how to do these down. You know, as far as like a technical thing with too much ink on their pad, that can always be fixed. Alright, so we have a bunch of cards right here, all glossy. This one's very light, but even this little spraying will just pop out those little areas down there and make them a little bit more crisp and deep in terms of the impressions. So hopefully this is reading on this video. I never know what's being captured. It seems to have captured kind of the differences in the past. Alright, final pieces here. Done quite a while ago. This one, I don't know when I did that one. Oh, my pieces. This is maddening when there's a breeze and my pieces go flying around. Hopefully they've kind of all dried, though, sufficiently. Alright, some photo stamping pieces. The pieces that you've achieved a great deal of tonal saturations are the ones that, you know, would stand to benefit the most. If it's kind of a minor application of ink, you don't see it as much, but you do get the benefit of having them sealed. And there go all my pieces. This is the worst time to really spray seal your pieces. But, on the other hand, they'll dry really quickly, but if they're kind of wet and they flop over, they have a tendency of picking up whatever you've done, or, you know, it could flop onto another piece and stick to it, so, you know. But always work outside, and, you know, be mindful of the, you know, breathing in of these fumes. You don't want to do it too much. But, anyways, some really good results here with the nice saturations and whatnot. And like I said, once you spray seal them, the UV probably protects it a little bit. I wouldn't put something like this on display in terms of the original. You know, if you really want to frame something and have it up and have it looking good for a while, I'd recommend just going and having it color copied or something like that, or take a photo of it and have it printed out at you know, Walgreens or Costco, whatever, you know, something like that. It would probably have a tendency of lasting longer, and then you'd have the original safely, you know, put away in a light, safe environment, you know, in an envelope or whatever, wherever you would put something like that. So, anyways, there's all nice scenes up there, and luckily, I think we got away with it being rather windy. So, okay, spray sealing video number whatever. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop me a note in the comment section.